Hello, this is the voice of Garrick here, and today I'm going to be hosting the Mono Green Stompy auditions. So, let's see who's auditioning to be a Mono Green Stompy. Call a 3-mana 5/5 whose only stipulation needs one monster attack. Welcome to the club! Oh, a 2/2 for 2 mana. That's not so great, but you pump other creatures' power. I like that. That's awesome. Welcome to the club. Too expensive, but I'm an 8/8 that gives everything trample. Still, I'm being very picky today, so you're out. Get out of my sight now. Only 1 toughness. Get out of my sight. Awesome. You're a green creature with a green sleeve. Give just the occasion. I quite like that. And you put a +1/+1 counter on all creatures that come onto the battlefield. That's awesome. I like you. Welcome to the club. Wait a minute. You're not a green creature. You're a blue creature in disguise. We hate blue. Get out of here. Roar! Alright then. That's perfect. Now, let's get on with the show. Come on, Mono Green Stompy.
Hello, A-Person here, and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. We're on week 2 of the 2021 Challenger decks, so it's on to a different Challenger deck this week. This week we're going to be playing the Mono Green Stompy Challenger deck. So this was the second easiest of the 3 to craft. I was missing a 4th Lovestruck Beast, but I do have that now, so the entire deck is here and ready to roll. So this deck is going to focus on getting out big creatures at a relatively low cost and attacking the opponent with sheer power. So that's really the basis of a Mono Green Stompy deck. So let's go over card by card and see what we're playing with today. 2 copies of Snakeskin Veil to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains hexproof until end of turn. So this is actually a really good card. It buffs your creatures while protecting them from instant speed removal, or sorcery speed for that matter, or any form of removal. So we want to have this in the deck to protect our creatures. Got 3 copies of Swarm Shambler. This enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it, so it starts as a +1. It starts as a 1/1. And whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. So this thing is kind of like Anax but for green, so that's really nice. But it does require you have counters on the creatures, so there is a catch to it all, really. You can also tap it and pay 1 to put a +1/+1 counter on this, so it can get stronger as the game goes along. 4 copies of Wildwood Tracker. This, when it attacks or blocks, if you control another non-human creature, Wildwood Tracker gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Now, we are running the possibilities for 1/1s in this deck for one very distinct reason, which you'll see later, which I kind of already spoiled earlier, but oh well. 2 copies of Stonecoil Serpent, which has reach and trample, and its mana cost is X, so whatever we pay, this can be as big as we want, so there's never a bad time to draw a Stonecoil Serpent. So the fact it also has protection from multicolored is nice, so that means that any multicolored spells this cannot be targeted by, so that's pretty nice. Reach and trample is a nice bonus too. It also got Primal Might, which has X green, where a target creature you control gains +X until end of turn, then it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So this can either be a 1 mana fight spell, or it can also pump a creature of your choice in order to buff it and do more damage in the same turn. So really nice card here. For more removal though, we have 4 copies of Ram Through, where target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. There are a fair few creatures with trample in this deck, so this makes sense to include. 2 copies of Scavenging Ooze, a creature where we can play it and then exile our opponent's graveyard to put +1/+1 counters on Scavenging Ooze and gain 1 life. We also have 2 copies of Wildborn Preserver, which has Flash and Reach, and whenever a non-human creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X. When you do, put X +1/+1 counters on Wildborn Preserver. So this is a really nice way to put in a creature. The flash is the main reason that I think this is in here, because we can flash in a creature on the end step and then attack. Although the fact that this thing can also be pumped, because you can still see a lot of the low cost creatures in this deck can be pumped with additional mana inputs to make much better or have some power boosting effects. 2 copies of Sepharon the Hedgehammer, where this attacks another target attacking creature, gets +X until end of turn, where X is Sepharon's power. So most of the time your creatures will get +2/+2 from Sepharon attacking, but it can also be given a counter with something like Snakeskin Veil. So if you put Snakeskin Veil on Sepharon, then that means that when Sepharon attacks in the future, then Sepharon will pump your other creatures even more. So I guess that's why it's in here. Obviously, remember, I did not build this deck. This is a pre-constructed deck built by Wizards of the Coast for general sale. So make of that what you will. Next up, we have 4 Lovestruck Beast, where this is why you want 1/1s, because Lovestruck Beast cannot attack unless you control a 1/1 creature. This does not necessarily have to include the 1/1 white human creature token that it creates from its sorcery on the adventure side. Heart's Desire creates a 1/1 white human creature token for 1 green mana. 3 Kazandu Mammoth, where this is a really good creature. It basically it's basically a land and a creature, because the creature side cares about lands, and when you put a land into play, it gets +2/+2 until the end of turn, so you can then use it to attack into our opponents for massive damage. But more Kazandu Mammoths, multiples of these, you can effectively have one pump the other because of the valley side. 3 copies of Thrashing Bronzodon for artifact and enchantment removal, where we pay 1, sacrifice and destroy target artifact or enchantments. 2 copies of Yorvo, Lord of Garenbrig, where this enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it, and for 3 mana, that's pretty good value. It is all triple green, but we are playing mono green, so we don't really care about that. This is the perfect deck for Yorvo. And whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Yorvo. Then, if that creature's power is greater than Yorvo's power, put another +1/+1 counter on Yorvo. So yeah, this gets really big really quickly. We also have 2 copies of Gem Razor for more artifact and enchantment removal. This is the better card than Thrashing Bronzodon in my opinion, because the mutate cost of 3 mana means it's a lot less expensive than Thrashing Bronzodon to destroy artifacts and enchantments. Plus we get to keep whatever's on board, so this is a much better card. And you'll probably see that reflected when I do the suggested tweaks at the end of the episode. 1 copy of Garruk Unleashed. There's only 1 copy of this in the deck, unfortunately, but it's a really good card. Up to 1 target creature gains +3 and +3 and trample until the end of turn, so this pumps anything. A nice +1. It also has -2, where you create a 3/3 beast creature token, but if your opponent has more creatures than you, then including the beast token, you get to it effectively becomes a -1 instead of a +1, so that is really nice. And finally, the ultimate is pretty crazy. You get an emblem where at the beginning of your end step, you may search your library for a creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So that's excluding mana costs. We don't have a lot of stuff that we necessarily want to cheat out, because this deck is a relatively low cost deck in many ways. But it's still a nice thing to have as an option. We also have 2 copies of Turntimber Symbiosis, where you get to look at the top 7 cards of your library and put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. And if it has converted mana cost 3 or less, and to be fair, a lot of our stuff actually does in this deck, then it enters the battlefield with 3 additional +1/+1 counters. So that's nice, but it also could be an untapped land if we need it to be. And finally, for the mana base, we're running 19 forests. That is the main deck. Let's go into the sideboard. 3 copies of Chainweb Arachnia, which can in there for flying creatures. Similarly, Run Afoul can also deal with flying creatures in a more roundabout way, but Chainweb Arachnia is another decent option. More copies of Snakeskin Veil if our opponent's running a lot of removal. Return to Nature for more artifact and enchantment removal. Kalandi Ambush, where this that is a fight spell but also a land. Albeit quite more expensive one, but it sits in the sideboard nevertheless. Thrashing Broodstone, more artifact and enchantment removal. And Okame Adversary for mono green mirror matches, where it costs 2 less to cast when an opponent controls a green permanent. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. So this is pretty good. The Death Touch makes its ability to draw cards from dealing combat damage a bit more viable, because it gives your opponents some choices to make, whether they want to block or not. Okay, so that is the deck. I'm not quite sure about this one. I think remember this deck was revealed, there's some serious cards that we're really missing from this deck that would make it really good. We're going to try and see what we can do anyway, so let's enter the arena! We're going first. This is not a pretty decent hand, but it hasn't got many lands in it. We'll keep it nevertheless because it's very playable. So we're going to go ahead. Once our opponent gets ready. Come on. Hello. Hello? Hello? Right, finally, okay. Let's play a forest, and let's play a wildwood tracker. And then go next. It's asking for the stone coil serpents, but if we play the stone coils, they'll just disintegrate upon touching the field, because X would equal 0, so no point doing that now. Our opponent's really slow today. Come on. I haven't got all day, you know. I'm trying to record here. Come on. You're making the video unnecessarily longer than it needs to be.
2 hours later.
Oh, they're playing a mountain. Oh, they play a fervent champion. Oh no. We're up against Mono Red here. This is Mono Red. We play Mono Red. Okay, our turn again. We'll put another forest down and we'll play a Stone Coil Serpent for 2, so we get something bigger to block the Fervent Champion. And then we attack with Wildwood Tracker, which attacks for 2 because we control another non-human creature. They play another mountain, and they've got another Fervent Champion. Looks like we're going to have to take this one, unfortunately. Dang, that's annoying. So I should have figured that they would do something like this. Okay, we're going to forest, and we're going to play... We're going to play Ram Through to get rid of one of their Fervent Champions. And since Stone Coil Serpent has trample, we do 1 damage to them in the process. And then we'll hold 1 mana open for our Snakeskin Veil, so that if they have any removal on their turn, then we can protect our stuff. But instead they concede! Well, that was pretty easy then. It didn't take very long for Mono Green Stompy to get going, and we managed to defeat our opponents. So, victory for Mono Green Stompy. Very, very pleased with that, although you didn't get to see much of what the deck could do, so hopefully we can do that in future matches. See you in the next match. Okay, so this hand is okay, I guess. We've got some options, but no real turn 1 play. So I'm going to mulligan it and see if we get anything. We have 2 Wildwood Trackers, so that's keepable. We're going to go ahead and drop a Wildwood Tracker because we don't really need more than one in my opinion, although they do pile up like the Fervent Champions, I guess. A mini Fervent's not nearly as good though. Play a Wildwood Tracker. See what our opponent's playing. They play a Forest. Almighty Bushwhack! Best card ever! Actually, it really isn't, but okay. Anyway, we're going to use Primal Might, boost our our Wildwood Tracker by 1 to defeat the Almighty Bushwhack. His power is not long for this world. Attack him with Wildwood Tracker. Next turn we can play Yorvo. If they know a Forest, and Tajir Bright Blade. Wait. And they also play a Mono Green Stompy deck. Play Yorvo. Just double checking what Yorvo's they play an Old Growth Troll. Yeah, I think there's a Mono Green Stompy mirror match. We'll play the Love Struck Beast. We'll play first the Heart's Desire part, and I'll play Ram Through on Yorvo to get rid of their Old Growth Troll. Admittedly that does ramp them, but hopefully that won't be too problematic. We'll go ahead and attack with just the Wildwood Tracker. I'm mindful of the fact that Tajiri Brightblade has Death Touch, and I really don't want to lose Yorvo at this stage, so yeah. They play an Elder Gargaroth. Okay, that is something that I think is seriously missing from this Challenger deck. An Elder Gargaroth would be really nice. But we boost Yorvo with Love Struck Beast, no attacks because Elder Gargaroth is too strong for us. So, let's see. What are they going to do? We do have a big problem with that Elder Gargaroth. And a Questing Beast, another card that probably should have been in this deck but isn't for whatever reason. Okay, well, Questing Beast changes quite a bit. We can't really block it, so we'll have to take the 4 damage. And there you go, a lot of stuff with Vision that's blocking our way now. We could try and use a Scavenging Ooze to try and pump Yorvo and then pump the Scavenging Ooze, but okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get rid of their Almighty Bushwhack and pump the Scavenging Ooze for a bit, but I'll attack with our 2 biggest stuff. Actually, yeah, we'll put a Wildwood Tracker in as well, just to reduce the likelihood of losing it. But the Elder Gargaroth is a massive problem. And they're putting Death Touch on. Oh, for goodness sake! Well, I didn't really think that one through very well, did I? I thought, well, Yorvo's a 6/6. They won't want to block it with the Elder Gargaroth. I forgot about the fact they could block it with the freaking Death Touch Tajira Brightblade. That was stupid. Great, now they've got a huge advantage over us. Because of the beast creature that they make as well. They put their own Yorvo down. And they have their own Ramthrough Trap. Wow, this is going downhill real fast. I think we've lost this now. We just have 1 token left. Yeah, we're down to 1. Top deck of land, last game. Yeah, what can I say? This is the main problem with this Mono Green Challenger deck. It lacks Questing Beast and Elder Gargaroth. Oh well, on to the next game. Pretty decent hand, but we're second, so I am going to mulligan this. Okay, that's a bit better. We've got a bit more of an aggressive hand, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put back to Farron. I would like to flash in the Wild Boar Preserver on the end of their turn if possible, so let's see how this goes. Hopefully we can draw another land. Okay, play Forest, play Heart's Desire. So we've got a Lovestruck Beast in the back. They played Island, they played Charming Prince, it's an Azorius deck because of it, but is it a control deck? Or it's not Azorius Flyers, because Charming Prince can't sprout wings by any means, so I'm going to use this Wildwood Tracker here, so that we can then use another Heart's Desire for Lovestruck Beast, so wrap things up a bit more. Then next turn we can potentially play a Yorvo and then start putting our Lovestruck Beasts down. Or we can just straight up play Lovestruck Beast, or we have Wildborn Preserver. So there's a lot we can do here, it depends on what they do. They play another Plains. Right, we're going to put another Forest down. We're going to play our Lovestruck Beast because why not? We've got a bunch of 1/1s here, so there's plenty of fodder for the Lovestruck Beast. Apart from the fact that they just used a Giant Killer to get rid of it. Oh, and I've also forgot. I went to attack with the Wildwood Tracker, but I forgot about the fact that we don't have a non-human creature to boost it, so we've got to lost our Wildwood Tracker. Well, that went pretty badly. Probably saying sorry. Well, how thoughtful of you, even though that's really a response emotes. Okay, put down another island. I play a Giant Killer. And I play another Charming Prince. So things aren't looking too great for us here. There goes Scry 2. Got one blue open, so potential of a Stern Dismissal or something. We're going to attack with Charming Prince. We're going to take that because we don't really want to lose our tokens when Lovestruck Beast is taking along. We're going to play our Lovestruck Beast down. And we're going to keep our Snakeskin Veil to protect our Lovestruck Beast if necessary. Right on cue, there's the removal of Skyclave Apparition. Okay, right, we're going to go ahead and use Snakeskin Veil to protect our Lovestruck Beast so that it doesn't get removed by Skyclave Apparition, so that's good. Now Skyclave Apparition is not holding anything prison, though it is an extra body for them. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cast Yorvo. Attack with the Lovestruck Beast and the token. See how they block. Gonna block Lovestruck Beast with Charming Prince and get rid of one of them. So they've still got Charming Prince, a Giant Killer, and a Skyclave Apparition. I'm interested to see where the blue part comes into. We've only ever seen them play white creatures so far, so how come they've got islands in their deck too? Because this seems to be just mono white aggro, but with blue lands in there too. Maybe just to help them draw cards or something. Anyway, we'll go ahead and go to attack. Of course, I forgot about the fact that Giant Killer can tap down creatures. So we're going to make use of our Lovestruck Beast with Ram Through to get rid of their Skyclave Apparition. No token because they weren't actually exiling anything, but so I see they're just gonna stop our Illustrative Beasts from attacking, I guess. Okay, we'll attack with the token and Yorvo, leave the remaining token for the Illustrative Beasts. No blocks, okay. Well, looks like they're taking damage then. Down to 14. We've got 2 mana open. We can flash on a Wildborn Preserver on their turn to potentially remove a blocker. Like that Giant Killer, for instance, if they choose to attack with it. They're not. Okay, we're going to go ahead and flash in Wildborn Preserver and block their Charming Prince. That way, when Giant Killer taps down one of our creatures, we can still attack them for a massive amount of damage anyway. Let's go pump Yorvo as well. Oh, they decided to tap Wildborn Preserver instead. Okay. Well, we'll take that instead. And they concede! Okay, well, that was rather easy in the end. On to the next game. Nice curve here, so we're going to go ahead and keep this. Sometimes you don't really need to put a lot of force into whether you want to keep or not. So, Forest down, Wildwood Tracker. Then next turn we can flash in a Wildborn Preserver. Play a Mountain. And they're going to shock it. Oh no, is this what I think it is? We'll hold open. See what they think. Another Mountain! Oh no, it's Mono Red again! This is Mono Red, we play Mono Red! Flash and Wildborn Preserver. Now, I feel like Mono Green tends to have an advantage over Mono Red due to the fact it has bigger creatures normally, but we'll have to see how it goes. Wildborn Preserver isn't particularly big right now. It can get bigger when other creatures come in, but not right now. We can, however, mutate a Gem Razor on top of it, so there is that. So it's now 4-4, and we're attacking for 4 instead of 2. Plus, they probably won't be able to remove it, so that is a nice bonus. Mono Red can deal with weak creatures, but it needs a lot more mana if it wants to invest in dealing with strong creatures. So now we're going to go ahead and cast Garruk. And then we're going to go ahead and pump our Gem Razor, making a 7-7, and all of a sudden it's looking really bleak for them.
Buckle under our might.
You tell them, Garruk. Right then, what's our opponent going to play next? Another Mountain, of course we do, and a Torbrand. Wow. Oh, that's a good top deck. We're going to go ahead and activate Garruk's ability, make our creature a +7/+7.
Dare you to stop this?
We're going to keep the Snakeskin Veil for now. And attack with our Gem Razor. They've got 2 life left. I'm going to put a Fresh and Bontagon down. And we're going to go ahead and pay 1, 2, and they concede! Yes! Awesome! Awesome! Right, I think I'm going to call it a day there then. We've got a fair few amount of games under our belt. We've got a few wins, but there are also a few defeats which you're about to see in the bloopers because things didn't always go quite so well, and I think this deck has some serious problems that really need to be addressed. You saw in the mirror match with Mono Green Stompy, just about how much our deck could be improved. So you're about to see more defeats in the bloopers, so we'll get to that very soon. In fact, let's get to it right now. It's time for the bloopers. We'll play a Wildwood Tracker. Comes down, now for Swarm Shambler. Opponents. Okay. Right then. And they have the Stomp. But you hit the thing that has the counter on. Turn Mountain. And a Goldspan Dragon. Great! Well, we're still in a pretty good position overall, I think. Especially since they're attacking with both. We're just going to chump block with the token so that we don't take the damage from the Bone Crusher Giant. The token has served its usefulness, I think. So we lose the token, but only take 4, which is going to be important, I think. So we have a Thrashing Brontodon to potentially destroy their artifacts in future turns. We'll see what we draw. They pay it anyway, okay. Okay, I think we're in a pretty good position now. Attacking through, getting down to 6, and we should be able to win on our next turn. Goldspan Dragon attacks. Breaks the treasure token. We'll take 4 in the air, and then hopefully we can push on and try and win the game next turn. Oh, come on! Really? For goodness sake! No! And another Goldspan Dragon! Are you freaking serious? This is ridiculous! We were just on the verge to win the game and suddenly, oh, it's Epiphany, I only have 2 Goldspan Dragons, the thing's getting way too out of hand! Right then, last chance to lose. If we can use Primal Might to get rid of the Bone Crusher Giant, we just might be able to win. Let's try and pump for maximum damage so that we can have a huge field to break through. Yeah, I know timer, but it's gonna be important. Right, so let's go with this. Last chance. We will have to take the 2, but it's an all or nothing situation at this point anyway. And they use the treasure token for a counter spell. Okay, that's game. Ah! Wow, we're dead on board, so I might as well concede. Ah! Stupid! All Red's Epiphany! It completely swung the game for them! I'm really annoyed by that! Oh, come on! Okay, we have our Wildborn Preserver, which can flash in if needs be, so let's prepare for combat. And they're going to use the treasure token from the Goldspan Dragon to tap down our freaking Lovestruck Beast, so that's going to make combat a bit more. That's going to change my plans completely. Right, just go ahead and attack this Gazundian Mammoth. And they block the ship. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, great, I've completely screwed myself here. Okay, this Night Adventure deck is way too strong for us. I'm just going to concede the game. We're just in a really, really bad position, all things considered. They just have so much going for them. Oh, that really sucks. Okay, let's see what they're going to do next. Banishing Light. Of course. Of course. Right, so they've got a couple of angels out here. We've got a Stoneclaw Serpent, which we can use to block them. Put down a Swamp. And Rampage of the Valkyries comes down. Oof, that's a problem. The Forest. First, fight on Swarm Shambler. Because we might as well, because we can't block with it. And concede the game. Yep. we're doing that. So that was the deck, and I am very mixed on this. We got a few wins here and there, so when the deck could go off, it could go off, but there were often times where we just get out pressured. Plus, there clearly is a lot of things you can do with this deck. This deck has been stripped bare of so many cards, mainly because a lot of the really good Mono Green Stompy cards are mythic rare cards, so as a result the deck felt seriously depowered. The only mythics we had in the deck were Turn Timber Symbiosis, Garruk, and I think that's it. Yeah, they didn't want to put too many mythics in, which is a bit of a problem because Mono Green's real strength in Stompy relies in mainly mythic rares. So we're just going to pop over to my other Mono Green Stompy deck. We're going to take a look at that to see how I think what you can do with this deck to make it even better. It may require a lot of money to be invested to make better, so yeah, this might be a bad investment deck wise. However, you can also buy this and the Mono Red Aggro deck and combine them into a Gruul deck, which could be pretty decent, so that's something worth considering. Anyway, let's hop over to the other deck profile and see what we can do with this Mono Green Stompy deck. Okay, we are now in the other Mono Green Stompy deck I have, the one that I sort of elaborated on from what I already had. We made quite a few changes to the deck. We have removed Snakeskin Veil, Wildwood Tracker. We also got rid of Ramthru, Wildborn Preserver, Sir Farron the Hedgehammer. So a few weak links that have been cut out altogether. Some card quantities being increased. We've got rid of Thrashing Brontodon altogether. So now that card is no longer in the deck. It is only in the sideboard, which has remained unchanged from the previous Mono Green Stompy deck. But a lot of other changes. We've added a lot more mythics to this deck to make it even better. Now the biggest addition I've added to this deck is 3 copies of the Great Henge, which really should be in a Mono Green Stompy deck because it just curves naturally from Lovestruck Beast, as well as another thing we added into the deck. So yeah, you should really be putting this in the deck because it's just that good. Anyway, we're going to take a look a bit more at what I've changed about the deck. We have removed 4 copies of Ramthru and 2 copies of Primal Might and replaced them with 4 copies of Blizzard Brawl. This is from Kaldheim. It's you know how we added Frostbite in the last one? Well, Blizzard Brawl is that for Mono Green, where you choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more snow permanents, the creature you control gains +1 and +0 and gains indestructible until the end of turn. Then those creatures fight each other. So yeah, this is actually really good because we have a fight spell now that makes our stuff indestructible. So that's just going to allow us to retain a board a lot better. I've also upped the Swarm Shambler counts to 4 because the protection effect is really nice to have. And we've also gone up to 3 Stonecoil Serpents. I would suggest though you go for 4 and maybe take out 1 Swarm Shambler, but I only have 3 Stonecoil Serpents, so this is how I've gone with it. We also have there's 1 copy of Primal Might, but Primal Might is really good. You could consider alternating between this and Blizzard Brawl if you want to. It might be better off with a 3-2 ratio or something, I don't know really. We've got 4 copies of Scavenging News now. I'm not necessarily totally convinced I want to be running 4, but I got it in anyway because it's a nice thing to have to be able to exile the opponent's graveyards. We've still got 4 copies of Lovestruck Beast, but we're up to 4 copies of Kazandu Mammoth because it's just that good. We're trying to focus more on the actual good stuff and cut the chaff like Wildwood Tracker, Sir Farron, Wildborn Preserver, which to be honest didn't really go that well in the deck in my opinion. So we cut out some of the low stuff in order to facilitate more high cost stuff. We've got another Yorvo Lord Garenbrig. I think 3 is the ideal ratio for Yorvo considering he's a legendary creature, so that's what we've got there so far. Up to the 4 drops, we got up to 4 Gem Razor because it's just so much better than Thrashing Brontodon, and you have no reason to be running Thrashing Brontodons over Gem Razor, so we're up to 4 on this, which helps remove artifacts and enchantments with ease. And then we've added 2 copies of Questing Beast. Now if you have more you could easily run more of Questing Beast, though it is a legendary creature, so I wouldn't recommend more than 3. But Questing Beast is what I think of when I think of Mono Green Stompy. This card just really good. It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card with the amount of text it has. It has Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste, and it cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that will be dealt to creatures you control cannot be prevented. Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent. It deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. So just a really good instant haste threat, which we were lacking in the previous version of the deck. Also lacking from the deck was Elder Gargaroth. Vigilance, Reach, Trample, a 6/6 for 5 mana, and whenever it attacks or blocks, you can create a 3/3 green beast creature token, gain 3 life or draw a card. So this thing never untaps, so it's basically stays down and becomes a general nuisance because it can constantly attack, create more stuff, draw you cards, and then just be able to block your opponents. And at 6/6 it can block most things, so yeah, that's really difficult to deal with. Next up, we're replacing Garruk with Vivian, Monster's Advocate, because she allows us to play creatures off the top of our deck and creates more creatures. And for just -2, you can get just search for a creature card with lesser converted mana cost, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. And finally, I don't know, Vorinclex, Monstrous Raider from Kaldheim. I only have 1 copy of this, so I put 1 in there, but why not? This thing has Trample, Haste, and it doubles all your counters as well as halving all your opponent's counters. It basically stops sagas from working and really stops your opponent from racking up those +1/+1 counters because they put half that many. So yeah, that's really dangerous. Now obviously we have the Great Henge, as I mentioned already. This will allow us to constantly draw cards and fix one of the deck's biggest weaknesses, as well as make all our stuff stronger. It really is the main way we win with this Mono Green Stompy deck. As for the mana base, I've changed things up. We had 2 Castles Garabrig, which wasn't in the original deck for some bizarre reason, because honestly I feel like it's probably needed. We've also got 18 snow covered forests and a Faceless Haven, so we have a snow mana base to facilitate Blizzard Brawl. So yeah, that's the changes I've made to the deck. I would not really recommend getting the Mono Green Stompy deck unless you're prepared to invest lots of money into getting the additional mythics that you need, like Questing Beast, Elder Gargaroth, Vorinclex, and especially the Great Henge, which is a super expensive card right now. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please share this so you get more people watching the channel. Please subscribe for more gaming and TCG content, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when new videos come out. Also follow me on Twitter at GenericAperson, all one word. Thank you for watching. I've been A Person, goodbye!